There is nothing like homemade mozzarella, and here is how you can make it at home. It's so much easier than you probably think it is. First step is to get 1 gallon of milk. I use raw goat's milk, and then we're adding 1.5 teaspoons of citric acid in 1 cup of cool water. We're gonna mix that in using an up and down motion to be gentle on the milk. Then I turn the heat to low and heat it up to 90 to 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Now we're gonna need a single strength liquid rennet. You can also use the tablets. We're gonna use 1/4 teaspoon and 1/4 cup of non-chlorinated water. Pouring it over the spoon helps distribute it evenly, and then we're gonna mix it again with those up and down motions, cover it for 10 minutes, and put a pot of water on to boil. After 10 minutes, we're gonna check the curds, so go ahead and take your lid off, and you can poke it with a knife to see if there's a clean break. You can also just use your fingers to pull it away from the sides and see if it breaks from the sides evenly as well. And now it's time to cut the curds, so make sure you use a pretty long knife for this, and the goal is 1-inch cubes, so you're gonna cut it one way and then the other, and then use your spoon to kind of cut it down horizontally, if that makes sense. Now just turn the heat to low and stir it until it gets up to 110 degrees. You can kind of cut the larger curds as you go if you see any big ones. Turn the heat off and stir it for 2 to 5 minutes until it kind of all turns into one blob. Now we're gonna put it in a colander and squeeze out as much whey as we can, and then there's your boiling water. Put it in a bowl, cover it with that water, and start kneading it. This water is around 200 degrees, so be careful. Use gloves if you need to. So we're gonna start stretching the curds, and once it starts breaking, go ahead and stick it back in the hot water. I do about 2 stretches, and then I flatten it out in that colander, add about a tablespoon of salt, and then start stretching again. And then we just keep repeating that process of putting it in the hot water and stretching it. I like to dump out the water and put clean water back in about once or twice throughout this process. And what we're looking for here is for the cheese to stretch a lot, as you can see, but also turn very glossy. Once it turns glossy, you'll have a few options. So first, you could just make a saltwater brine with cold water and salt, and then stick it in that and put it in the fridge, or you could just put it in a container and stick it in the fridge. Or what I did today was I made string cheese. So I started by refreshing that water again and putting the cheese in there, and then I just stretched it out a lot in the same direction. This process is what makes those strands that you can pull off. Then I just put it back in that hot water before making a super long strand of it, making sure I'm pulling it the same direction I did when I was stretching it so that those strands are still there. Then I just grab some scissors and cut it into somewhat equal sized pieces, and that is literally it. It is so simple and so fast, so easy. It'll keep in the fridge for about a week or the freezer for about 3 months. Let me know if y'all try it, but for now, God bless and have a great day.